Hey, what's up, guys? It's Steve. I think today it's time to talk about Kawhi Leonard. A lot of you guys have been telling me, what do I think about Kawhi Leonard? Do I think he's the future? Do I think he's a great player? I think he is a perennial all-star, but I don't think he is an NBA superstar. Now, remember the video I made when I said NBA superstars versus NBA all-stars? There's a big, big difference. And I see Kawhi Leonard as a perennial all-star. The reason is I don't see him being a franchise-changing player in terms of, I don't think anyone would want to build around Kawhi Leonard. And the reason is because pretty much the success that he's had so far in his career is because he's a really systematic player. And, he's extremely lucky getting drafted to San Antonio. He's a really systematic player. And Kevin Durant, I've said this, a few other NBA players have said this, and, it's very evident in watching his play style and watching after, because in the postseason last year, Tim Duncan, he really didn't play much in, let's talk about the Western Conference semifinals. He really didn't play much like he used to. He played like 20 minutes per game, 6 points, and like 4 rebounds per game. That's not Tim Duncan. We're used to 20 and 10 Tim Duncan, dominating both offensively and defensively. And when Tim Duncan's not there to put pressure on the defense, you can tell Kawhi Leonard really struggled down the stretch in those games against Oklahoma City in the Western Conference semifinals, especially, so, and the way they went out as well, like, it's just evident that Kawhi Leonard is not going to be one of those players that can carry a franchise like a LeBron, like Kevin Durant. I can name so many superstars in NBA history, but you guys get what I'm saying. And I don't think LaMarcus Aldridge can either. But that's what makes this team so deadly, is they have numerous perennial all-stars. They have Kawhi Leonard, they have LaMarcus Aldridge, they have Pau Gasol, they have Manu Ginobili, they have Tony Parker, So it's a great team, and I think Kawhi is the best player on that team, but I don't see him being an NBA superstar. Yeah, he could be an MVP candidate, but again, when it comes down to Game 6, Game 7, can you rely on Kawhi to carry it? He's a great shooter. He really developed his offensive game last year during the offseason in 2015. You can really tell because you saw him isolating, especially in the post last year. He really brought in a new post game, which was really shocking. His post game is pretty good. He still needs to work on some things, but he's a great shooter. I think he shoots like 40-something% from 3. So he's a great player, but at the end of the day, man, like, I just don't see him being able to carry a franchise on his back like a Kobe. But, it's not anything against him because he's still a great player. And the thing that stands the most out about Kawhi Leonard to me is his personality. He's very humble. And I think it was like a perfect situation for him. The type of player he is. He's very humble, very quiet, and he's drafted in San Antonio, where they have the most humble superstar in NBA history. So it was just like a perfect situation for him, and look at him now. He's a NBA, what is he, a 2-time MVP, Finals MVP? I mean, 2-time NBA champion and a Finals MVP. Actually, 1-time champion, 1-time MVP. But, just dominant player, but just, again, a systematic player. I don't think he would be doing what he's doing now on any other team. It's just he's with the right pieces that surround him properly. Now, don't get me wrong. The dude is one of the best defensive players in NBA history, and he's going to go down as one of the best players ever, maybe top 50. Don't get me wrong. But again, I don't see him as a superstar. I see him as a perennial all-star. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. A lot of you guys wanted me to talk about Kawhi Leonard. So there you go. That's my beliefs. That's my opinion on Kawhi Leonard. Again, just a great player. Just not, a Carmelo, not a LeBron, not a Dwyane Wade in his prime, not a Kobe, not a T-Mac, not a KD, not a Westbrook, not to that level. But I would put him in the same class as like a Stephen Curry, or as a Damian Lillard, like that, those type of perennial all-stars. Now, obviously, Stephen Curry is a superstar, but I wouldn't trust him to carry my team, because look what happened in the NBA Finals, both in 2015 and 2016. How the hell you don't even win Finals MVP, and you're supposed to be the best player in the world? Let's be real for a second. And that's why I made the video. Klay Thompson's more valuable than Curry, but no one listens. But it's all good. Anyway, guys, that's just my opinions on Kawhi Leonard. I love the guy. I think he's an amazing player. Great role model. That's the most important thing. He's a great role model. Great player. I just don't see him as a superstar. I see him as a perennial all-star. Anyway, I'm out of here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm probably going to be top 5 defensive player ever. amazing, purely amazing. And if he continues to develop, his offense, like I said, he really developed his post game. But if he can, and his shooting ability, if he can develop it more, learn how to isolate more, maybe do what Blake Griffin did, talk to Carmelo. Y'all don't know, 2012, Blake Griffin and Melo, they trained together. So maybe if Kawhi could go to someone that's really offensively, that's like a really offensive threat, like Melo or KD, maybe Kawhi, maybe Kobe, Kawhi can develop into, take that next step like Blake Griffin did. But anyway, I'm out of here. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.